meeting. So if you have any questions, feel free to place that in the chat, and I will try to respond also in the chat if you have any questions for me.
Thank you, Mr. Moss. That was a pretty comprehensive report, and it's always good to hear that this year we think Carnegie is going to have enough money. There have certainly been years I can remember when that hasn't been quite as true. Well, I can tell everybody, the next step is my report, the president's report. I can tell you that I've been to a few of these listen and learns, some by virtue of being an HISD parent and a couple by virtue, I think, of being the PTO president. There was an open listen and learns were town hall meetings with the new superintendent, Mr. House. And he hosted one at Carnegie, and I think several people who are here this evening attended that. I went to another one for PTO leaders and a third for special ed. And I'm honestly not sure how I got invited to the special ed, but I did my best. So I hope I represented Carnegie well. They all followed pretty much the same format. He had some opening questions that, there were some limited answers. You could vote for your top three choices you had three choices for 4 different priorities, and he asked for a vote, and that's as they worked to put together a strategic plan. And then he basically took Q&A and let parents talk. So I think they were worthwhile meetings. I hope that good things come from them. So that's listen and learn. I think there are a few more if you've missed them, but they're coming to the end of doing that. And information on that should be on our Facebook feed and would certainly be on the district website. A November meeting hybrid. We ran this idea by Mr. Moss just a couple nights ago as virus numbers are dropping. And 2 of our PTO board members who are healthcare professionals gave us their professional assessment over whether that was a good idea. And Mr. Moss said with some considerations made, like chairs being scattered across the room so people aren't too close together. Yes, he thinks that our November meeting can take place in person at the school. However, we know that there are a lot of people for whom, especially at 7 o'clock at night, especially if you have younger kids, tuning in via Zoom has become invaluable. So we are going to work hard to make that a viable way to attend the meeting. We'll give you further updates as they come along, and that will be the 3rd Thursday night in November. Our next item of business is a reading of proposal to change the PTO bylaws. Some of you may remember that we did a huge overhaul of the bylaws last year. This is not that huge. This is very specific about the timing of our fiscal year. And this came up because as the end of school has shifted into June, we still have bills to pay in June, but our current fiscal year runs through May 31st. So our treasurers 2 years in a row have been in the uncomfortable position of trying to get all the money spent by May 31st. And when the school year runs to June 10th or whatever it's been, that gets really difficult to do. Our treasurer asked if we could propose to change the fiscal year to July 1st through June 30th, and then change the time when I'm trying to read and talk at the same time, and that doesn't typically work very well for me. When the financial report needs to be presented to the executive board for the closed out year, from the 15th of July to the 1st of August, so the treasurer maintains 30 days to get that done. Maria has moved the proposed language up so that you can read it, and it will be posted on the Vanguardian and probably on our Facebook feed as well. We're not voting on it tonight. It's our responsibility to let everybody read it, and then we will vote on it at the November meeting. All the changes are highlighted in bold print so that anything that's affected by that slight change in the fiscal year was included, and we hope we didn't make any mistakes. If we did, if you catch something that we didn't, please let one of us know and we'll fix it. All right. The last bit, this falls under President's report, but I'm not going to give it. Danielle Batchelor sacrifices her Thursday nights once a month to watching the HISD board meeting, which truly can drag on for hours. So Danielle, it sounds like we had a rather spicy meeting last week. So if you could tell us what happened, we'd appreciate it.
Hey, thank you. 3 hours and 22 minutes. No, so one of the biggest items that it seems the district is addressing is juniors and seniors and keeping them on track for graduation. And they're trying to hire a whole lot more college counselors. They're adding a Khan Academy dashboard to every high school online access. I'm not exactly sure, maybe Mr. Moss or Ms. Matsu could comment on that, but they rolled it out as in a few campuses, I guess last year and this year. All campuses are going to get that, and it will include progress tracking and resources and tutoring and things like that. They're working to address the psychological needs and sort of the mindset shift that has happened. I guess it has affected disproportionately certain groups, and they said minority kids and those in low income situations. And they said there's been, so much trauma and so many different kinds of living circumstances and people losing family members to COVID and things like that. So they said the issue of applying to college is like not even on a lot of people's radars, even if they otherwise were on track for that. So they're working to try to mitigate that as much as possible. And then there will also be more TSI funding and ESSER funding that's campus-based to try to help with this junior and seniors and keeping people on track. Then there's alarm around the mask mandate. There was still some spicy, opinions. Some people angry with the school board for keeping that going. There's concern around school safety. Jack Yates High School was specifically mentioned, and infrastructure and maintenance problems. I guess, there's varying degrees of challenges around that. And Poe Elementary, not far from Carnegie, was one of the schools that they said has been without air conditioning since school started. And at one point this fall had one working bathroom for boys and things that are untenable. So lots of conversation around that. Folks are looking at the turnover rate for teachers and the shortages. There's a lot of teacher shortage, and specifically within substitutes, but also industry specifics, teachers who are skilled in certain industry areas that help for career paths and things like that. So a lot more was discussed, but I would say those are sort of the highlights that I think affect Carnegie the most.
Okay, Danielle, thank you very much for keeping us in touch with what the district is concerned about. And I know it's a big time commitment. So thank you for carrying that on.
Thank you.
I will now become somebody else. Mala Gupta, our treasurer, was not able to be here tonight, and she would typically give the financial statement. So Maria, if you can bring that up. We always want to show you what's going on. And let's see, where are we at? So this is our financial statement, July through September, from the beginning of the fiscal year. We already discussed that somewhat. June was kind of a blank month this year. So this is what we have brought in revenue and what we have spent. So this is our statement of activity. And everybody can take a look at it. And then I will hand this off. We'll leave that up for another couple of minutes, but I will hand it off to Joya Shukla, who is our fundraising VP.
Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me okay? Perfect. Hi, I'm Joya Shukla, the fundraising VP. I want to report that we are close to the 25,000 mark with the friends and family. That's certainly awesome to embrace that, but it is a little bit behind where we normally are this time in the campaign. So again, encourage all of you to, the area that we're really behind, it's not that we don't have as many parents reaching as far into their wallets, but it seems like on the corporate match piece, that's really where we are missing a chunk that we've gotten in past years. So while we do appreciate all of you continuing, especially those that haven't, to give what you can, again, this money is used for helping teachers get extra supplies and enhance your student experience. It's used, at Thanksgiving and Christmas to help families in need. Um, it's helped to sponsor things that school clubs may need, some of our social events. And so it really does, has the ability to transform the experience that, our children at Carnegie have. And so anything that you can do, any links that you may have into the community for sponsorship opportunities, if you own a business, certainly it's a wonderful write-off before the end of the year. Again, anything that you can do to help, build that. And again, if you happen to work for a Chase, a Shell, HEB, if you happen to work for any of those extremely generous companies in the area that do offer any sort of corporate match or grants, please make sure you're filling out those forms or letting us know so that we can follow up on those. Our next fundraising event, aside from friends and family, is going to really be an opportunity for those of our children that drives to school. We are looking to auction up to 2 parking spots. These are really premium covered parking spots that would be on the first floor of the garage. So, again, it keeps your kids out of rain. It's just a bonus to somebody that really wants to offer their kid the most premium experience possible, is probably the best way that I can put it. But that auction should be going live by, I would expect, Monday. And the winner of that event, it'll stay live up through the fall social event that is scheduled for November 11th at Kirby's Ice House. I'm sure Jamie's going to give us a lot more details on that, but encourage everyone to come out and see who actually lands that spot. And again, if you have, soon as we're done with the fall social, we are looking at having a 20th anniversary gala somewhere in the March-April timeframe. If you'd like to get involved with gala planning, sponsorships, tracking down former Carnegie alumni, I mean, really opportunities abound. So just please feel to reach out to Georgie for any, if you'd like to volunteer, and she always makes sure that she routes the people to the best place on the PTO that can use their valuable time, talents, and treasures. But I think that's kind of it for now, or at least that's the nutshell.
Thank you.
Any questions or comments, or does anything that I didn't cover? Susan, you're very good at filling in all the gaps for all of us.
Well, I think, the auction, the parking space auction is our new endeavor. And that's one of the happy things that lets us know that we're getting back to normal, because that's usually done in the spring. And in the spring, nobody knew what fall would look like. So now we're able to do it because our kids are back in school. So that feels pretty good. And if you are wondering about corporate matching, yes, we can help you with paperwork. Joya has the tax forms, any of that paperwork, we're delighted to help you with it if you've got questions. I think, like this is kind of Jamie and Georgie, and it's really not my job, but rather than trying to run it through the chat, if there's anybody out there who is interested in helping Joya with Spirit Nights, we've got a couple restaurants reaching out to us. And so but Joya is running Friends and Family, managing the auction, and it would be really helpful to have a volunteer who can manage Spirit Nights, So if you want to, message Joya and Georgie in the chat if you're interested, that would be awesome. And ladies, sorry for stepping on your toes there. Let's see.
If I could just
Uh-huh.
add a couple of other things. Susan, if you wouldn't mind putting in the chat, if it's handy for you, the Amazon Smile code, or, as we the holidays, just, reminding folks that Amazon, all you do when you check out is put in the Carnegie code, and I think Carnegie gets like that percent, of your purchase. So again, just every little bit counts. And in regards to the parking auction, it's not for this semester only. It'll carry through the end of school. So just a quick note there.
Okay. And then Jackie, you were going to give us a report on the school store because everybody likes t-shirts, right?
Yes. So about 3 weeks ago, we sent out a survey to all the students. Miss Matsu helped me, and along with another one of our parents, Rose. So we got some incredible feedback from our students about what we should order, the colors, which was overwhelmingly, they all wanted to see more colors for shirts, and they also wanted to see more plushies, joggers, dry fit. So we're going to try and incorporate a little bit of the things that we know the students will definitely purchase and wear, most importantly. If you, all parents, if we are having selling every Friday during lunch. So you can send your students to school with money and they can come and browse our inventory. You can also order online on Vanguardian and then scrolling through to the school store. It shows our updated inventory. If you choose to order online, then we could fill it during the week, and then your student can pick it up on Fridays. And if that doesn't work, then we could always pick a time, choose a time that works for you guys and for your student, and we will make sure it gets taken care of. And I think that's it.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And thanks for getting in there and starting to manage the store. It's a big job and you're carrying it very well. Okay, Maria, communications. What do you have to tell us? What do you need? And I think you have some people to introduce, right?
Hi, yeah. So first, I just want to hopefully introduce my communications co-chairs, Mary and Sarita. So Mary is our webmaster. So if you have anything that needs to go on the website, if you are a committee chair or you're on a committee and it's your responsibility to advertise, or if you see something on the website that you think needs to be corrected or could be done better or anything, Mary, our webmaster, she also is an IT professional. So I got really lucky with her. Her profile is here on the website, and you just need to email webmaster@cvhspto.org. And I have a new co-chair for the newsletter. So the newsletter editor is Sarita. Sarita's profile is also here. She has 2 Carnegie students, and she is going to be helping out with the newsletter. So if you have anything that needs to be submitted to the newsletter, please email newslettereditor@cvhspto.org. We'll be working together, and I'm really excited to have some help in that regard. The communications committee responsibilities are kind of broad, but a lot of people want to know or have different opinions about how we can communicate with different people, with parents and with students and teachers. So what we try to do is to have the Vanguardian homepage be the one-stop shopping for everything. If you go to the Vanguardian homepage, you'll see that you can get to most of the things that we use to get to everybody else. Vanguardian e-News is the newsletter we were talking about. And on the newsletter, we try to communicate the most up-to-date things, but also the most common things, like what the fellow officers here have been talking about. How to get involved with the PTO, how to stay informed, the Friends and Family campaign that fundraiser talking about, how to get on the updated information to the directory or to get registered with the directory, our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. Linktree is something that's relatively, so is Padlet, but if you aren't familiar, Linktree is something that we use with Instagram, but basically kind of reiterates the same information. Padlet, something that the students are familiar with because they use it, I believe, off the hub, and it's just one more way to get information out there. The students, I think, are the ones that mostly see it, but as you can see, we have a lot of information available on these different platforms. So it's just really up to you. Whatever, if you're not a Facebook user, that's fine. If you're not a Twitter user, Instagram, or whatever. Likewise, if you want to share information with a spouse, partner, a grandparent, you know, a sibling, whatever, about something that's going on at Carnegie, we try to make it easy with some of these social media and share sites, or you can just send them to this page. So if you have more ideas or if you want to help, we're always happy to get more help. Hands make light the work. So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact us. Thank you.
Okay. And we'll hear from Georgie Silverman about volunteers and Jamie Turner about our upcoming events, and then we will hand it over to Ms. Matsu. So Georgie, you ready?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Georgie. I'm the VP of Volunteers. And just to tag on to what Maria said, there is a, there on that homepage, there's a section, volunteers and membership, sorry. So you can find the slot to volunteer. Under most of our dates, if we need volunteers, there's a Sign Up Genius. Coming up, we have the social. I'm just making the Sign Up Genius now for volunteers that we might need for that. And oh, the membership, please, if you go to that homepage, you can also click on the CVHS directory, and it will take you to, if you haven't yet, fill that out. And that way you'll be on our list, so you'll get all our communications, as well as getting the newsletter. So that's how you we can keep track of our membership. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Georgie. Joya has asked me to recognize one particular volunteer, Kelly Faraday, about 15 minutes before this meeting, formally agreed to run the auction for us. So Kelly, thank you very much. Really appreciate you. And Georgie, I imagine you'll be meeting her before too long. Jamie, can you tell us about the party?
Absolutely. Good evening. I wanted to first say thank you to all of the parents and the reps that have been connecting with me up until now and trying to get a schedule for at least the rest of the year for us to follow as it pertains to events. We do have an idea of what we want to do for, I'll say, until December. That portion is concrete. The first event that we're going to put on is the Fall Social for Parents. It's at Upper Kirby Ice House. It is for adults only, which means you cannot bring any of your students. They can't even wait for you outside. This is for us, and we deserve it. It is at 6 o'clock from 8:30 until 8:30, I'll say. It is for faculty, parents, and staff. So you will get a chance to meet some fellow, especially the incoming 9th grade parents. You'll get a chance to meet some of the other parents that have been at Carnegie for some time now, and then your students' teachers. So this is an awesome opportunity to get connected. The next event that we are going to put on sometime in November is going to be movie night. Some of your students are familiar with movie night. It was a great success during the pandemic. We're going to do it again before it starts getting, I'll say, bright outside, or before the sun starts coming up too early. So we'll do it in November. And then the last thing I'm thinking we'll do before we break for Christmas is game night. And so we'll do game night on top of the CVHS rooftop, and we'll use the field and the basketball courts. The kids love that. So we have music, and they are just free to do whatever their little hearts desires. So I just wanted you to know that we are working at giving them opportunities to relax outside the classroom. And that is all I have. You're on mute.
I'm muted.
Yes.
You've worked really hard on that. Thank you. It's exciting to see the social coming together. So we are, we do have a question. This came up in the chat. Jamie, is the minimum age at Kirby Ice House 18 or 21?
21.
21,
It has to be
okay.
drinking age, because essentially you walk into a bar area. So you
It's a
do
bar,
have to be
okay.
drinking age, yes.
Okay, but it's free. There's no cover charge. You need to sign up. So we have a head count, and they'll have some food available, and we'll have some light snacks, but it is pay as you go, so to speak, right?
Yes, that is true. Show up, and the rest is up to you.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you all. We're going to be able to hear from Ms. Matsu tonight. Ms. Matsu is Carnegie's Dean of Instruction. She has a long history with Carnegie. She started as a science teacher, and she's now one of our senior administrators. So thank you for coming to talk to us. Among the many, many hats she wears is she is the head of or coordinator for advanced placement for Carnegie. And Carnegie's curriculum is really kind of sculpted around advanced placement, isn't it?
It is. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Just let me know, because I've had to switch. Okay, great. So yes, I'm the AP coordinator, and I'm going to share my screen in just a moment. But yes, our curriculum is very heavily AP based. And so I'll talk a little bit about that tonight. But it is the national standard for advanced or higher level high school classes. And so we have built that up over the years. This is my 16th year, I believe, at Carnegie, 16th or 17th year. And I did start as a pre-AP biology teacher on the campus. So my 10th year out of the classroom. But yes, we are definitely a heavy AP school. So I was asked to speak a little bit about what is advanced placement. And so I'm going to, in my mind, assume that we've got everybody from parents of freshmen who this might be their first child in high school ever, all the way up to senior parents who are very familiar with AP, but now what is that going to look like as we get closer and closer to college? And also the transition from pandemic to back to in-person school, and what does that look like for AP testing? So I think Ms. Hodge, you'll have to unshare your screen so that I may.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's see who can share. All participants. There we go. That ought to do well for you.
It does. Oh yeah. Okay. So
got it. Okay.
I believe so. So let me start my presentation. I hope. All right.
We see it. We see it.
Okay, great. So we are absolutely an AP school. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about what is AP. And I can't see the chat, but I certainly can. I have some time at the end where I will answer any questions that you guys might have. So if you maybe put them in the chat, we can go back through it. Or if there's something that's pressing at the time, let me know.
Okay, I'll watch the chat.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about what are advanced placement courses, the benefits of taking AP, resources and supports for student learning, because I know often I get asked, okay, how do I help my student, my child with AP? the AP exams, and then some Q&A. And so what are advanced placement? Advanced placement, or AP, and I'll just refer to it as AP, College Board is the company. It is a nonprofit, but advanced placement are courses that have been around for a very long time. I'm about to have my 30-year high school reunion in the spring, and I took AP Calculus AB in high school. So they've been around a long, long time. And what they are is AP courses are college level courses that are offered in high school. They are not, once you're in college, they don't have AP anymore. So advanced placement, saying you're in high school, and they really are introductory level AP or introductory level courses taught in a high school. Students take these AP classes for a half a year or a full year. The vast majority of our AP courses are full year. There are just a handful that are one semester, like macroeconomics, US government, and there are a few other courses out there that are one semester as well. And so students can, and I want to emphasize the word can, students can or may earn college credit based on their score on that single test they take in May. And why is it that they can? Well, that's up to the university. Every college or university has their own practices and policies in place. And some universities won't take any AP credit. Now that's relatively rare, and they tend to be our highly selective schools and the Ivy League schools. Ivies really don't take many, especially the top of the top Ivies. Harvard's not going to give you any AP credit. But on the other hand, state schools in Texas are required to take AP scores of 3 or higher. So as you can see on the screen, it is based on a 5-point scale. And 5 isn't perfect, but it is like making an A+ on the AP exam. So when your child takes the AP in May, they will in July get their scores back by logging into the AP College Board website, and they will see just a score of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. No pluses, no minuses, and honestly, no other details. And we don't really get any other details either. We just see Bob made a 4 on AP Calculus BC. And so as you can see, it is extremely qualified, well qualified, qualified, down to possibly qualified, and then a 1 on an AP really says to us the student might have started the AP and then doodled or didn't do a lot to it. We don't see a lot of 1s, but occasionally we do. If you make any effort, typically you make a 2 or higher. So we often get asked, what courses do we offer at Carnegie? We offer 28 AP courses every year at Carnegie. And you can see them listed here by content area. And so just as you know, I did take this PowerPoint, adapted bits and pieces from all over the place. But this is our list. We have 28. If you go to our school profile on the website, what you will see is more than 28 courses listed on our school profile. And that's because if you are a native speaker of something such as Chinese, Japanese, German. Last year, I gave AP exams to Japanese, Chinese, German. We've also given Italian. We routinely give French, Spanish, and Spanish Lang and Spanish Lit. But I will accommodate students who are native speakers in other languages. I've also given music theory to students who have studied music outside of school. It's not an easy test. But so you will consistently see more than 28 courses listed, but these are the 28 that we every single year offer. So we have 914 students enrolled currently, and all of them take an AP exam. Freshmen all take AP Human Geography, and then that's really it. It's a rare freshman that takes something other than AP Human. AP Human is a wonderful way for students to become acclimated to what does AP look like. The exam itself is a little bit easier to digest for a student because it's a lot of shorter answer questions and answer rather than huge essays. Sophomore year, students have an option of AP seminar, and most opt into that. And then they all take, you'll hear the kids often call it WAP, which is World History AP or AP World History. And then some of our sophomores then start to diversify, and some take AP Biology, etc. By junior year, you're going to have all kinds of things. But routinely, juniors are going to take AP English Lang. They are going to take AP US History. And then many of them take AP Research. And then by senior year, they have to take AP English Literature, AP Macroeconomics, and Government, and then a whole host of other things you can see on the screen. So we do have 28 APs. This year, currently, I have 2,987 exams that I believe I will be giving. I know it's very specific. I just added it all up on the website before I made this PowerPoint. So it's possible we'll be over 3,000 as I make sure that everybody's in the system. It's a lot of AP exams. So one of the questions we often get asked is, what is AP Capstone? And I wanted to just do a brief overview. AP Capstone is a program that during my time as an administrator, we learned about at the College Board Forum. And we thought, this is a fantastic program. We were one of the first schools, we might have been the first one in the district. Certainly, we were right up there with other schools in the country. And we wanted it because it really teaches research skills. And so AP Seminar is a sophomore level class, and that teaches presentation skills, research-based essay writing. And at the end of it, there is a written exam that is combined with a, I see somebody is drawing. So I'm not really sure how to get rid of the drawing that I see, but the written exam plus an essay and presentation at the end for AP Seminar. AP Research does not have a written exam. They have a portfolio and a presentation. And so these are options. Every student must do a junior level research class, but seminar and research together are 2-year programs. This is a 2-year program. So here are a list of, I took this directly from our school profile. You can find our school profile listed in many different places on our website. And so you'll see more than 28 AP exams here. And so if you wanted to go dig into our school profile, you can see what the average score is, the total number of exams. What you'll see is at other schools, you'll see an overall higher average score, but that's because we require all of our students. It has long been the policy of HISD that if a student is in an AP course, that they sit for the AP exam. And we think it's extremely beneficial for our students to sit for that exam that they are enrolled in the class for. Even if they don't make a 3 or higher, it can reduce anxiety for other AP exams. It allows them to see, what does an AP exam look like? They might do better than they thought they would. And you can see on here some of our AP exams. Some of them are I mean, clearly we have, a couple of German and Japanese and Chinese native speakers that just make fantastic grades or fantastic scores. And then some of them you'll see consistently, those students like Calculus BC, because you elect to be in that class, very high scores. Some of the classes where the whole entire grade level takes it, you're going to see it slightly lower, but that's a much larger group of students. Physics C is a special course where it is 2 different tests, but our teacher teaches both of them throughout the year. So it isn't one semester is one and one semester is the other. They are both 1 semester classes, but they she definitely, Miss Wakefield, has components of each, but it isn't necessarily just split right down the middle for this semester. And then towards the end of the year, she reviews, because all AP exams are taken in May. For macroeconomics, they are currently taking that class as seniors, and then they'll end that at the end of first semester, and then they won't take the AP until the end of the year. So that's a little rough for them. AP has actually sent out an email to us saying, would students be interested and would schools be interested in giving AP exams at the end of first semester for one semester classes? And absolutely we would. And so they are at least looking into that. They are investigating whether or not they may do that in the future, which I would be very excited about, so that students feel like they can take the exam right after they've done the content. So why should a student take AP? Well, at our school, there's some courses that you're just required to be in. There are a lot that you can elect to be in. And so consistently, research shows that students who take AP courses do better in college. Granted, this, you can go back and forth and say, well, if they opted to be in AP Art History or AP European History, they are interested in pursuing a higher academic level, that they are willing to push themselves. We also see that students graduate more quickly. Well, part of that is that they go in with credits in college so that they don't have to take some of those courses. So as you can see, here are some of the reasons as to why a student might go into an AP course. As you can see, that last one, which is often asked, is, does being in an AP course boost the GPA? Students who are in an AP course, that AP course is given a 1 point or is on a 5-point scale versus a 4-point scale. So they do get a boost to their GPA. I'm also often asked, do they have to do well on the AP exam to get that boost in their GPA? And they do not. So it's very beneficial for them to sit for the AP exam. They will still get the boost in their GPA. Next, taking AP courses in high school could give you an advantage in college. It really opens doors as to first getting into college. It's something that you will send, or a student will send to colleges as part of their resume as they get ready to apply, or as they're in the application process. It makes them stand out, especially if they've taken kind of a wide variety of AP courses or more, that they've challenged themselves. But it also, and I've seen this with many of our students, one, they feel more ready for school, for college, but they save money. That's huge, right? You're taking this course in high school and you can completely avoid having to pay for it in college. But also for students, it gives them more flexibility in college. So if you've already got the credits, you can pursue areas that you're interested in. And so you can skip those introductory courses and take courses that you may not have had the opportunity to take in college because you were having to fulfill those basic requirements. So, and so one of the questions we're often asked is, well, how do I know if this course is going to, the universities I'm looking at, will they take credit or give me credit for these courses? And this website, this collegeboard.org/AP credit policy, allows you to search by course or by college. So if a student, especially like maybe a junior, is like, what should I take senior year? I'm really interested in going to, and has a shorter list of universities and colleges, they may want to search those colleges and see what are their AP credit policies, and then think about what courses they may want to take senior year before they submit their course selection sheet. We're not a huge school, and we have a lot of singleton, meaning we teach one period of a course or 2 periods of a course. And it is, to us, extremely important that students choose wisely in their especially those junior and senior years, as to what courses they want to be in, so that we can craft our master schedule to meet student need. But one of the ways that they can kind of help themselves decide what courses they want to be in is look and see, are the universities they're interested in going to take credit or give them credit for a course if they make an AP score of 3 or higher. Now, granted, not every junior or senior knows necessarily where they want to go yet, so they should just take the courses they're truly interested in. But if they're going back and forth between 2 classes, this would be a good way for them to determine. So before I move on, I wanted to see if there are any questions about that first portion that I could answer now before I move on to the next section. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the chat real quick. I see, what is the criteria for the scoring scale? So, and then are there any retakes for AP exams? So the criteria is it is norm referenced, which means that they look at all of the students who take world history AP in a given year, and they have a rubric. The teachers all share this rubric with their students, and they score the rubric. And let's say that the rubric has 27 points on it and a student makes 15 of the 27 points. That doesn't mean that they failed it. What they do then is look at overall, how did students do on that AP exam? And then from there, they determine what is a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that happens every single year. And it's one of the reasons that the scores don't come out until July, because they go and AP readers is what they're called. They are usually teachers who have 3 or more years of experience teaching that AP course. And many of our teachers on Carnegie's campus are AP readers. College Board flies them to a central location. They sit down and they read these APs, they score them on a rubric, and then they determine what would be a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 based on the overall scores for that year. Are there retakes for APs? A student, my suggestion would be, instead of a student retaking a prior AP exam, is to study really hard for the APs that they're in the course for this next year. Because APs are only offered once a year, and only once a year in May. So if a student doesn't do well and they find out in July, they have to wait till the following May to take that AP exam. And I think that their time may be better spent working on the course material of that year. So that's a long answer to say, yes, it is possible to retake an AP. And I would say work with the counselors, Mr. Frau and Ms. Chapman, about would that be the most beneficial course of action. So next, AP resources. Hopefully I answered those questions. AP resources. One of the questions is, how do I help my child in an AP course? And I will tell you, COVID was terrible for many things, but it was really good in a way that a lot of online programs and online resources had to become much more robust. And one of those is the AP Classroom. So AP Classroom was this very minimal thing before, and College Board was like, oh, wow, we've got to do something to help all these students who are learning at home. And they have, my teachers are so impressed with the resources now available to students. I am going to now talk a little bit about some of the resources that are available to students that are not visible to you as a parent, because it is through their College Board account, but you certainly can ask to see these resources, ask to sit down with them and see how are they doing in these resources, are they using them? And across the board, I'm hearing how great these resources are. So AP resources, there is an app that students can use, and there's also the desktop account. All of your students know how to log in, because one of the ways that we order the exam is that they had to log in at the beginning of the year. They had to join each class that they are in an AP for. So if they're a freshman and they have Ms. Schmidt or Dr. Haney, they had to go in and join the AP class. And then in there, they now have access to AP daily videos of content, practice questions, progress checks where it's like little quizzes, and a progress dashboard to see how are they doing and progressing towards doing well in the AP in May. And so if you didn't know about this, I highly suggest that you talk to your child and ask them about all of these different components. And I'm happy to make this a presentation available to you guys. And we can figure out how best to do that. We can put it on the Carnegie website, the PTO website, etc. So, and you can reference these with your children. So AP daily videos, AP pushes out these daily videos about content. And of course, we want to have students look at these because they're making the content for the course that they're going to be scoring, right? So what better way than to go straight to the source? They're about 8 minutes in length. There are about 2 or 3 videos for every topic, and they are led by AP expert teachers. And you can use them anytime. They are not at a specific time. So, and then I see someone asking about AP Human Geography. Are the teachers preparing the kids for AP testing throughout the semester with practice tests? Absolutely. So every one of our content areas has what we call released questions. And those released questions are released to the teachers. The teachers then sign something saying, I will not make copies of this to distribute, but I can use them in my classroom for, they're usually 2, 3 or older questions. So they're years past questions, and they can use those on tests as test questions to prepare students using real world AP questions. And so absolutely, all of our teachers love to use the release questions. They're just not allowed to give those tests out to the student, but students can come into the classroom and view them. So practice questions. Let me make sure I didn't skip one. So practice questions, there are practice questions in the app or on the website. I highly suggest students start using these if they haven't already. And they basically just provide them with practice and seeing what real world questions are going to look like on the AP exam. And so they immediately get feedback as well. And personal progress checks, real-time feedback on topics and skills in each unit. And this is available in every single one of the AP exams. And so these are just formative assessments, meaning along the path towards the AP in May. And so this will allow students to kind of gauge where are they right now, what are areas that they have strength, and where are areas that they need to spend more time. And so these are great ways for students to figure out how they're doing. And so there's a whole dashboard, and you can see that there are multiple choice and free response areas. They can see, oh, wow, I do really well in free response. I need to work on multiple choice, or I do really well in this one topic. So I don't need to spend as much time reviewing that, but I really need to work over here on the Second Amendment and personal protection. So this is a really great way to self-assess. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and look at the chat. Do pre-AP classes count as premium grade points? So I will tell you, we use the term pre-AP, but as of this year, it is no longer pre-AP. It is changed to HISD advanced. And that's because, I'll be honest with you, HISD did not pay College Board for the curriculum for pre-AP. We made our own based on what we've always done, and it is now HISD advanced. And yes, it does get the quality points, the GPA boost. Yes. So is it possible if you have taken an AP, you may be able to do your 4-year college degree in, let's say, 3 years? Absolutely. So we have students who come back and do it in 2.5 years. So it depends on the major, obviously what they're going to go into and what courses of study, but if one of their goals is to get out of college as quickly as possible, and often that's as cheaply as possible, then yes, they can. Are students aware of their login credentials? Absolutely. So every single student, and I have sat down personally and called AP for a few students who were unable to log in, and we sat there and reset their password together. Every single student in our school now, as of last week, is in myap.college board. They have their account, they have access to it, and they can do all of these things that we were just talking about, personal progress checks and practice quizzes, everything for every single AP course that they are in. So let's talk a little bit about the AP exams. Last year, AP exams were 100% online, except for the foreign languages. The year before, when we kind of went to spring break and thought we may come back, and we never did, they were 100% online, all of them. Now, this year, AP will be in person. We are not given the choice. 100% of AP exams will be in person. And so these exams are standardized across the country. They are given in school only. They start in May, and then some late APs, and I'll explain what that means, go into June. And there is a standard time across the world. And so I even had a student who, right at the end of second semester, senior year, moved to New Zealand And he had to wake up at some crazy hour to take his AP exam because they are standardized. Everybody starts at the same time. They are created and scored by AP teachers, and they are typically 2 to 3 hours, but I will say most are 3 hours in length. And almost all of them include a multiple choice section and then a free response section that includes essays, problem solving, such as in chemistry or the math courses, document-based questions in our in our foreign language, music theory, and I don't know if there's any other foreign language music theory. I think those are the only oral ones. So it is a combination. If you're interested in the exact details, you can go to the AP website and it will tell you exactly what it looks like. For example, world history is going to have an hour and a half, 90 minutes of multiple choice, and then like it'll break it down exactly how many minutes for everything. So HISD students that are currently enrolled in an AP course, HISD pays the fee. There is no fee to the student. This is so different than other districts. When I started to type this up, I started to say free for HISD students, and I backed up because it is not free. HISD pays College Board for every exam. Now they pay, I believe it's $94 this year for a full priced exam. And then there is a reduced price for students who qualify as low socioeconomic status. All of our students in HISD are paid for. The bill is gigantic. And we so appreciate that HISD does this, and we so want them to sit for these exams because that is money well spent by the district for students to get this AP credit and college credit. All AP exams will be administered at school on a very specific scheduled date. We have no wiggle room on that. CVHS has been approved as of today. I was very excited. We applied for and were approved for, there are 2 exams that they will allow us to give on computer digitally, but they'll be in school, but the students will use their laptop and they will take world history. So that's all our sophomores, and English literature. All our seniors will take an AP exam on the computer. It is the exact same format. It has the same components, but I'm going to be honest with you. I think typing is going to be a lot easier for our students to write these long essays than handwriting them. Students are going to be able to type faster and they are going to be more legible. And then there's just less paperwork, less packets, less everything to keep up with, or to get lost in the mail on the way back with UPS. And one of the negatives about previous digital exams was that students complained, and it was true, that they could only go forward. If they did question number 3 and they moved to question 4, they couldn't go backward. AP has fixed that, and they can move back and forth within the exam, the section they're in, multiple choice or free response, at will, which is a huge benefit. So here is our schedule, and I'm almost done and then I'll answer any questions. So here is our schedule for AP. On the left side of your screen, you can see the standard dates. Anybody can look up, and it says 2022 because that's when we give it. We give it in May of 2022. Anybody can look up the schedule. And there are a few on here. You'll see Chinese. I already have at least 5 native speakers signed up. I have added a German student recently. We have some Japanese, but you'll see this is when these AP exams occur. Now, on the right side of the screen, you'll see late AP exam schedule. Why would a student take a late AP exam? Because you must be approved for a late AP. Well, if we look at the left side, if you happen to be in AP chemistry and AP Spanish literature, you cannot take 2 exams at the same time. And so I will give one of those late. I will tell you routinely, if it involves any kind of oral component like Spanish language or French language, we will not, that will happen at the regularly scheduled time. And then the late AP will be the conflict AP. And so that is one of the reasons. Another reason a student may take a late AP exam is that they have extended time. And so students who have been approved by College Board for extended time, let's say they're in environmental science and AP psychology, that environmental science exam, as you can see on Tuesday, May 3rd, would go past the time AP psychology begins. And so we would have to schedule one of those to be a late AP. And it then becomes very much a really interesting puzzle as to what proctors do I have, making sure that they don't conflict, et cetera. So there is not necessarily, you won't always be able to tell which one I will put late, but there is a rhyme and reason as to why I put certain ones late. AP late testing needs to only be 3 days. And as you can see, there are a lot of exams that happen at the same time. To address the timing, it says morning 8 a.m. We are allowed to start between 8 and 9 a.m. That's really tough because kids don't get to school till 8:30 and we've got to get them seated and started as soon as possible. So when APs come, please, 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 I beg of you, if you have a consistently late bus, please find, and the buses, I hate to even bring up the buses. We know they're an issue. We are frustrated, but we need the students there on time. If we start the AP exam, if we actually open the booklets, the student comes in, they cannot take the exam at that time. And so it becomes a kind of craziness. We will be shutting the school down, meaning like we will shut down and go into test mode on certain days. And you'll see a few of these days, like I've already told Mr. Moss, May 5th. Ooh, May 5th is I'm gonna need a really long nap after May 5th. But all of our freshmen and seniors will start between 8 and 9. And then almost a huge number of our sophomores will take seminar in the afternoon. And then if you know anything about our school statistics, huge exam. And so we will have a lot of students testing on May 5th, as well as other days. So I have just questions and answers. So I saw some things pop up in the chat and I'll address those. And then we can open up for any verbal questioning. Are students aware of their login? What are the key success factors for AP? Well, we give 28 different AP exams. I think keeping up with the content throughout, and I think that our teachers do a fantastic job of preparing students for the AP exam. And they could probably speak more to specifically, like as the coordinator, I know it sounds crazy. I've never taught an AP course. I am a science composite certified, but I always taught freshman, sophomore level. So I've never taught an AP course. Our teachers are fantastic at working with our students, and I think that they would be the best ones to explain exactly, but I think keeping up with that content, keeping up with the course material. And I think that a great way for a parent to get involved is to say, I understand that there's this my AP app. Show it to me. Are you doing these progress checks? Are you doing these practice questions? And the vast majority of AP exams are paper and pencil, like a huge amount of paper. So the multiple choice comes in a little packet and they have essentially a Scantron. And then the free response comes with questions, and then they have little pink booklets that they handwrite everything in. And as we know, our students are not used to handwriting a lot. So the fact that they're allowing us to do 2 on the computer is great. All the rest are paper and pencil tests. And so that's one of the reasons that our teachers require our students to handwrite on exams. And we don't just do tests on computers, because we need to prepare them for the format of the test. And so I know that our world history teachers and our English literature teachers may use a computer a little bit more now that they know that as of today, we have been approved to give those on the computer. So I think that is all the questions in the chat. So let me open it up to anybody who may have questions about, who want to just verbally ask any questions. I know it's a lot of info.
Okay, do you all know how to unmute yourselves?
Susan.
Yep.
Okay. So I concur with everything that you said. I think that, and so having a senior that's taken many APs now, I feel like he seems really like he's been very prepared. The only thing that I can say as someone who took APs 1,000 years ago, the students seem to have the impression, and maybe this is right, that no matter what score they get, it's not worth a lot, that the schools aren't going to accept. And I know your first slide covered that quickly, but I felt that whenever, back in our day, that it was worth a lot to get, high scores, that it, you could enter almost being a sophomore, or pretty soon you were a sophomore. And now they don't seem to think that. Are they right, or has it
No,
changed?
they're just not right, unfortunately. So
That's
now,
usually the case.
if a student is interested in attending Harvard, Princeton, Yale, and a few other schools, no, they're not going to get any AP credit. But the majority of our students are not going to be attending those super elite, extremely hard to get into Ivy League schools. And not because that they didn't get in, because when it comes to being a senior, they're like, that's not the school for me. I will tell you right now, if they make a 3 or higher on any AP exam, state schools in Texas have to take them. They have to. U of H, UT, A&M, they take them. And what I would really suggest is any student who thinks that, one, my niece who went in as a sophomore in college, and she did not take the max number of APs. But I would really, and she didn't go to Carnegie, I really would suggest that they go to this website, collegeboard.org/AP credit policy, and they can look up universities that they're interested in and see what is their policy. Universities are very transparent about what they will take and what they will not. And you will find that if you make a 3 on AP Calculus AB, you get this credit, but if you make a 5, you get this credit. And so lots and lots and lots of our students go in with a semester's worth of credit, a year worth of credit. They get a lot of credit. So I guess we need to do a better job of messaging that to the students.
Thank you.
I see somebody, so somebody's telling me Stanford does accept them. So sorry. Yeah, there are some universities out there that don't accept any. Over the years, AP has really, every year for like the last, 5, 6 years, they have rewritten 2 to 3 AP curriculum and have made them more and more current. And I think more and more universities are accepting them. For example, you'll see world history. Now you'll see it world history : modern. And so they are rewriting exam after exam or content after content. I will absolutely make this presentation available on our website and put it under parent resources. And I will also, I've made a couple little changes. I will email the final copy to Ms. Hawes and Ms. Calzada, and they can put it on the PTO website. I'm happy to put it anywhere. So someone plugged in several schools, and all of them offer credit according to the AP College Board website. And I will tell you what, that website is kept up to date. That is a very current website. So universities take credit or award credit. Any other questions?
It's sounding like maybe not. Thank you very much. This was really comprehensive. And I think even those of us who took AP exams back longer ago than we'd probably care to admit, things change over the years.
Absolutely, they have changed.
And this is really great information. Thank you very much for coming.
You're welcome. And if you come up with a question later on, email is definitely the best way to get me. I will tell you, and Ms. Hawes knows that if for some reason you ever email me and I don't get back to you in a day or so, I prioritize, right? There's some things that are more important to respond immediately, but don't feel bad about emailing me again. I'm really good with email, but please, if you have a question about AP, let me know. If it's specific to content, the teacher is the best person to answer that question. But if you want to know about bigger picture stuff, I can help. And then the counselors are really good about guiding Mr. Frau and Ms. Chapman about guiding students to determine what would be the best courses for them to enroll in. So, okay. Well, if there are no more questions.
I don't think so. I think I'm seeing a lot of thank yous in the chat if you don't have time to read them all
Yeah,
as they
I'm
roll
watching them pop
along.
up.
Okay, great. So thanks everybody for coming tonight. I think we will call it quits. And thanks again, Ms. Matsu. Thanks everybody for coming. We hope to see everybody at the fall social. And we will see you there and have a good week. Bye.
Good night.